Okay, Jay, we'll start with you. First of all, I believe the best way to start this session would be to tell us about your journey, what you have planned initially as your career goal, and how the things turn out for you moving forward as you progressed with your internship and the your what I say full time tenure. Over to you, Jay.
Yes, definitely, sir. First of all, I was coming from electronics background, and I have done internship for 4 months. And at that time, at that period of time, I have learned some Python codes, and with the help of that only, I have applied here in the Longswitch. And after that, I realized that it was not my cup of tea for to tackle with the Python and the basics of Python, and I was finding very much difficulty to handle the codes of the Python. And after that, I was guided by you, of course. And during the initial time, I was zero in the IT industry, and I don't know anything about coding. So initially, I even finding difficulties to write the HTML code also. To build a HTML table was a difficult part for me in the initial phase, and after that, some of the difficulties I faced during coding, and so after practicing and after going through some of the projects, I get some knowledge regarding the coding and how the coding standards are followed, and how the official documentation are to be followed. Initially, as I frankly say, that I don't even know how to read the documentation itself, and how to go through the documentation part, and what is meant by the documentation, how to follow the official things. So all these things I learned here, and I think it was my first step in the IT industry, and I think the best part of my career also. And with that, growingly, I switched over to React.js. So gradually, it increased my coding standards, and also I have done many practices, many live projects I have performed here. And during that period of time, I learned many things, that how to debug the code, and how to face any situation when we get stuck, when we are facing the whole week stuck itself. Also at that time, I learned that not to give up for that project, and just try and try. And if we can't able to walk, or can't able to uh, run, at that time we just need to learn that how we can crawl,
Yes.
or how we can take some of the small steps, so that it makes at least some of the progress for us. And not we don't just we shouldn't just think that we are stuck here, and anyone just come and help us. We don't have to think like that. Always we have to think that something we can achieve from this, and something, anything.
better than
Yes,
nothing.
yes, something is better than nothing. Some of the time, we have to think like that also. If we are making a good amount of progress, at that time also we can have some of the projects, or some of the difficult code parts.
Mm.
At that time also we get no clues that how to handle these things.
Mm.
And so we can search for that also part in the Google, and we can take some of the guidance from any senior, or you can take from the sir itself, and just first take the guidance and think. And firstly we have to build that thinking ability, that how should we think for the
in a programming
yes,
manner, or
in
as a
programming
developer.
manner.
Right?
Yes.
I want to ask something here. You have highlighted that initially you have opted for Python
Yes, yes.
programming. As a Python developer, you wanted to pursue your career.
Yes.
You spent some time here working as a Python developer at Longswitch Software Solutions.
Yes.
But then I believe we did a analysis of your skills. Right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Then we connected, and I think we went through all the points that
Yes,
we
yes.
observed that okay. I think Python is not your cup of tea.
Yes.
Maybe you should switch to the web development part.
Yes, yes, yes.
At that point of time, what was your thought process? Because you see, people often come with a certain mindset that okay, I want to be a, for example, Salesforce developer only. I want to be a Salesforce admin, or I want to be a full stack developer where I want to work with front-end technologies, back-end technologies, but actually they lack the skills that are required.
Yes.
So it is near to impossible for any human to pursue all skills at once.
Yes.
They have to tackle everything in a step-by-step manner.
Yes.
They want to master a certain set of skills before even starting on the or jumping on the next set of skills.
Yes.
So how did you make that decision that okay, you are ready to make that switch from Python developer to a web developer?
Yes. So initially, I got a chance to learn Python also. Around 1 month or 1.5 months, I dedicatedly involved the time in the Python by learning some of its framework like Flask and all. So I was getting no clue out of that. I wasn't able to understand anything from that. So at that period of time, rather just I was having the answer that I can't do this coding part, and the coding is not made for me. So I got a guidance that you can start from the HTML part, or you can start from the React.js web development part. So from that part you can go further, or you can try that, so that it could be your chance to perform anything in the IT industry, or you can have some of the you can find some of your talents or your
Sustainability in
skills.
the industry.
Yes.
That you can sustain in the industry with at least certain set of skills
Yes,
that
yes.
you can offer to your employers or your
Yes,
companies at
definitely.
which you might be interviewing.
Rather just getting the answer that I can't do this thing.
Yes.
So please find your way that how to do that. What should be your decision? But I got a guidance that you should try this thing, because sir itself thought that the React.js part or the HTML part will be somewhat easier for me. So you can take some easier steps, and you can start your journey as well.
Yes.
So from that main point, the journey has started, and currently I am here as a Salesforce web developer, Salesforce programmer.
Yes.
So-
Web developer and Salesforce developer.
Yes.
Yeah. So see, this is the important thing. It is for everyone who doesn't know this story that Jay initially planned something else as his career. He wanted to be a Python developer, but after spending so much of time on learning those skills, he was not getting clue. Like he was not finding that he was not finding his way through that development process. So we sat down, we observed the points where he's lacking or where he's not performing that well, because eventually, even though you enroll for internship, the time period or time foundation is always there. You cannot be intern forever. You have to show some progress, right?
Yes.
Then we sat down, we discussed the points. Then he realized that he should start with something like something simpler to establish himself in the world of IT
Yes.
or the development. So he opted for React.js. Then he went through the React.js development or the web development using the technologies such as HTML, JavaScript, CSS, or designing frameworks. Then he realized that okay, this is what he can do for now
Yes.
to establish his skills, because as he mentioned that he's from the electronic background, right?
Electronics background,
So
yes.
he has nothing to do with the IT. It is a complete two different ends of the world. So there is no match. So this is what I wanted to highlight to everyone. Even though you like plan to pursue in some what I say career path, but when you actually do the work, you feel that you are stuck in between. You are not making any progress despite being making best of your efforts. So it is really important you figure out that what is possible at this moment of time, grasp the knowledge of it, establish yourself in something simpler for now,
Yes.
then try building your career from that, so that it will it will fill your heart with confidence. It
Yes,
will give
definitely.
give your confidence a boost that is much needed, because that will come from within. If you achieve something, it comes the confidence comes from within. You get motivated every single day. So switching the career or switching the technology is not the end of your development career. That's what the main takeaway from this. Secondly, you highlighted that you opted for web development journey,
Yes, yes.
and then you grasped the knowledge of that particular area. In between, you have also highlighted that you were more focused on learning the debugging skills,
Yes,
learning the
definitely.
troubleshooting skills, and learning to read the documentation in a right manner.
Yes,
So, how these things help you out? Do you think these things play a very crucial role in initial phase of anyone's career who is trying to be a developer?
yes, definitely, sir. Because for an example, if we import some things in from the npm packages,
Mm.
and by importing that basic thing, we can just use in our project. And if we further wants to enhance that project, or further wants to develop a new thing in the library itself, or any tool, so at that initial time I wasn't getting any idea that how to do these things, and how to follow, how from where do I get any clue, or what should I do. Then I got a guidance that you should follow the basic documentation, and in the documentation itself we get almost 95% of the solutions. All the parameters are made
Documentation is
itself.
the key.
Yes, yes. Documentation is the key, and the proper steps is the key. Proper process is the key. Main key is that
So,
we should follow the main process.
which means that reading a documentation, official documentation of any technology that you are working on, is your key to success. You should have proper way of reading that documentation, understanding what is mentioned there, right?
Yes, definitely.
If you can't figure that out, what the documentation says, then which means that is a big problem with your understanding of that particular technology. So always develop a habit that you understand what is written in the documentation. If you are unclear with that, first get your understanding clear about those topics, because let's say if you are using an application and you can't understand its documentation, then I believe you are in a big trouble, because nobody else will help you out. If you can't figure out the documentation, that what the documentation says, nobody else in the world is going to help you. So if you are in the phase where you lack the knowledge of understanding technical documentation, do work on that thing, right?
Yes, sir.
I think that's what we had discussion in the early phase of your career,
Yes,
where
yes.
we were implementing so many things in React.js. We were
Yes.
implementing some third-party
Uh,
libraries.
React Redux,
Yeah,
for an example.
yeah, where we used to have such discussions that read through the documentation, you will definitely get your answer. And I believe 99% of the chances you
Yes,
are
yes.
you got the solution from there only.
And also, sir, there was a time that I wasn't getting any clue from the documentation also. But you just post me that you will get something in there. You will get something in there. So after some of the days also, I was getting some clue,
Clue.
and after that I can able to handle and run further projects in that.
Definitely, like they say, you should be a good listener to understand a conversation, but for being a developer, you should also be a good reader. You should understand what does a technical terminology mean, whether it is going to help you or not with your problem or with your issues. So all the newcomers, even for the fresh or even for the experienced ones, if you are what I say, if you are dealing with an integration or dealing with a technology, develop a habit to go through that documentation, develop a habit to enhance your technical vocabulary so that you know what a technical word means, why it is being used, and what purpose it serves, right?
Yes.
So,
And I want to highlight something that some of the days that I was thinking that I'm not getting anything after doing some of the projects, and after
Doing
coming
the
this
reviews.
far, I'm not able to handling this thing. So I also learned that you should believe in yourself, and you should try more. That you will only be able to achieve these things. So I was also able to learn those things also. And also I want to highlight one thing that initially when I came here, so sir asked me to give some of the practical test or exams. Also for that I wasn't able to do any single line code, and sir
That was the
believed,
funny
and
part.
yes,
That was the
and
funny
at that time sir believed in me, and I made some very small project in Python. It's not a project also, it's some small functionality. And at that time sir believed in me, and that even if you are not getting anything, we will try.
So yeah, the story goes like this. He just suddenly one day came into the office. I want a job. If you have a job, if you have internship, I want that. And we just had a discussion. I have this habit whenever anyone comes for the job, even though we don't have the openings or anything, I just uh, have, like I allow them to sit, have a what I say one-on-one technical discussion with me to know what level of understanding they have in terms of theory of that particular area. So this is what I did with Jay. He just suddenly one day came in the office around 2 p.m. or something. That was the time after
Yes, noon.
post lunch. In noon, he suddenly came. There was no call. There was no prior. What I say. There was no prior scheduling of the interview or anything. He just came. He asked me that whether you are offering a job or not. Then we had a discussion. The next day, I think we called you for the interview, or the same day. I don't exactly.
On the same.
Yeah, on the same day, I asked him to do a practical test. I gave him a sheet. Okay, solve these problems and like show me what you know about your skills. And the one key thing that I wanted to mention: whenever I interview any candidate for the practical test, I never prepare a question. I just go through their resume, whatever they have mentioned that they know. For example, Jay had mentioned that he knows Python.
Yes.
So I asked, okay, you know Python, what do you know in that? He mentioned, okay, I know these many skills or these many things in Python. I listened to that, prepare the program based on that. Okay, give me a solution to this thing because you are saying that you already know these of the items. So I gave him a task. He appeared and he wasn't able to solve any of them. Not a single exercise.
Single line of code.
He didn't write any code. He just sat there. He was trying to what I say. He was just trying to what I say.
I just initially
imported some of the
yeah.
libraries. So that day, it wasn't his day, to be very honest. He couldn't answer any of the things. He couldn't answer. He couldn't solve any problem. But I felt maybe his like what I say, technical, theoretical knowledge is sound. Maybe he can do better. He can do better if the chance is given to him. Then I offered this role to him, and I believe the result is here. You all are praising him for his skills, for his understanding, for his patience, for his technical understanding, technical knowledge, programming knowledge. So sometimes all it takes is to believe your gut feeling that
Yes.
others can do better, give them a chance, and let them show their true potential. Right?
Definitely, sir.
I think we are. I hope we are not like हम आपको बोर नहीं कर रहे हैं. In case if that is the thing, we can terminate this thing. Are you all getting value out of this discussion, or how is that?
Yes, sir.
आप लोगों ने सब सुना what we have discussed?
Yes, sir.
So see,
Yes, sir.
see these things. Why why this discussion is important to me, because the discussion that we had just now, you all can feel that Jay started from very bottom in this field, and he himself mentioned that he didn't know, he couldn't solve any of the problems. And therefore then also he was able to deliver, which means he had the potential. So sometimes your days are off. Sometimes your days are off. You might not do better. You might not do good. But do believe in your potential. You will, if you have the skills, you have the right attitude, if you have the right approach towards your work, you will definitely find your way through it. Okay?
Yes.
Is there anything else, Jay, you want to say?
Yes, one thing is that also I learned from many of the interns and many of the other colleagues too, other teammates too, that I was not in a phase that yes, I am a 1.5 year experienced person, so why should I learn the basics from those interns? Because I know that they are from the IT background and they know some of the coding standards and the values out of it. So I have just asked them that please make me understand that how this is able to applicable here and all. So also we should be open for that also,
Yes.
that from each and every person we get something to know and something to learn.
Okay, you wanted to say that you should be open to suggestions,
Yes.
open to communication, and open to learn from anyone,
Anyone.
despite their role,
Yes.
their hierarchy in the organization, or their experience level. Right?
Yes, yes, definitely.
That's true. That's really true. I think everyone does that, and you just pointed that out, which means you are really having that thing in your nature, in your day-to-day activities, that you are
Yes, yes.
collaborating with your colleagues who are junior in terms of experience.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Thanks. I think Jay, that makes a good that makes it a good discussion where you have highlighted the things that you should be open to change in your approach while
Yes.
you adopt a role. You should be open to switch to new technologies
Yes.
if the prior technology that you have selected is not meant for you, and you can also start making your career from something very simpler, then like stepping up in your career with more advanced technologies. But the key thing here is that you should get better in something where you can represent yourself, that okay, this much I know, I'm really solid in that, and now I'm ready to take on to the next set of responsibilities, right?
Definitely.
I think that's make it a really good discussion. I hope everyone who is listening to this gets value out of it,